I never thought I'd hear my own daughter's fiancé call me a worthless drain on the family, right to my face, in front of the man who could make or break his career. But there he was, Alex, flashing that polished Wall Street smile as he leaned across the linen-draped table, his voice dripping with false sympathy. Faith's had a rough go, lost everything in that scandal years back. She's been crashing with us ever since. You know, handouts and all. The room froze, forks hovering midair. But I just sipped my wine, tasting the vintage irony. What Alex didn't know, what no one did, was that the scandal he'd so casually weaponized wasn't mine at all. I'd taken the fall for my husband, buried the truth to shield my daughter from the headlines. And in the ashes, I'd rebuilt an empire worth 9 figures.
9
figures. That could swallow his boss's firm like a bad merger. And as the boss chuckled politely, oblivious, I felt the old fire crackle back to life. Revenge isn't served cold. It's engineered, one quiet acquisition at a time. But the real gut punch? This wasn't just ambition talking. Alex had dug into my past, twisted it like a knife, because he thought I was the weak link in his climb to the top. Little did he know, I'd already started the slide by swapping more than just stocks. Bodies, secrets,
lives.
Yeah,
You heard that right.
in a world where Silicon Valley peddles immortality in pill form, I'd found something darker, a black market neural swap, the kind that lets you walk in another's skin. And Alex? He was about to learn what it feels like to wear shoes that don't fit. The dinner was at Le Bernardin, that overpriced seafood cathedral in Midtown where power brokers go to pretend they're cultured. My daughter, Lila, had insisted on it, her way of introducing Alex to his new world after landing that junior analyst gig at Harlan Ventures. Harlan himself was there, a silver-haired shark in a Brioni suit, the kind of man who'd get a startup for breakfast and call it innovation. Lila glowed beside Alex, her engagement ring catching the chandelier light like a promise. She was 25, fresh out of Wharton, all wide-eyed optimism and trust fund glow.
Me?
I was the ghost at the feast, dressed in a simple black sheath that screamed, harmless retiree, but cost more than Alex's student loans. We'd flown in from the Hamptons that morning, my crash pad, as Alex liked to call it, though it was a 10-bedroom estate I'd bought cash after the divorce. Lila thought I was scraping by on alimony scraps, which was the point. After the scandal, I'd let her believe the lie. Mom's broke. Down on her luck. Better not rock the boat. It kept her safe. Kept the vultures away. But Alex? He'd sniffed around from day one. Those beady consultant eyes, scanning for leverage. Family history, he'd said during their first dinner together. Gotta know what I'm signing up for. Translation: dirt to dish. Harlan raised his glass as the waiter cleared the turbot. To new beginnings, Alex. And to family, messy as they are. Alex clinked, then launched into it, smooth as a pitch deck. Speaking of messy, let me tell you about Faith here. She's Lila's rock. Bless her. But life's been unkind. That whole embezzlement thing back in 15 wiped her out. Now she's,
Well,
between gigs, living off the kindness of strangers. He shot me a wink, like we were in on the joke. Lila stiffened, her fork clattering softly. Harlan's eyes flicked to me, appraising, the way men do when they smell vulnerability. I could have ended it right there. A single call to my broker, and Harlan Ventures would wake up tomorrow as a subsidiary of Faith Holdings LLC.
but no.
That was too clean. too corporate. This betrayal ran deeper, laced with the kind of poison that festers in American dreams gone sour. Alex wasn't just climbing, he was erasing me to do it. And in erasing me, he'd unearthed the one secret I'd buried deeper than offshore accounts, the body that wasn't mine anymore. It started 15 years ago, not with a bang, but a whisper in a Reno lab. My husband, Victor, God, what a cliché, had been the real thief, siphoning millions from his hedge fund to feed a gambling habit that began in Vegas honeymoon suites and ended in federal indictments. But Victor was connected. Senators, lobbyists, the whole D.C. swamp. When the feds closed in, he cut a deal. Not for jail time, for a ghost. Experimental neural tech. Courtesy of a DARPA offshoot. The kind they test on desperate volunteers. Body swaps, they called it officially. Consciousness transference for the white papers. Unofficially, a way for the elite to dodge consequences. Victor swapped into a clean slate, a nobody trucker from Ohio, and left me holding the bag. I didn't volunteer. They forced it, or close enough. Drugged coffee at a mediation meeting, and next thing I knew, I was blinking up at fluorescent lights in a body that wasn't mine, softer, older, marked by years of factory shifts and cheap bourbon. Victor's gift. Or his curse. The feds pinned the embezzlement on me, the new me, because who questions a broke widow with a rap sheet? I served 3 years in Alderson. Minimum security hell for white-collar witches. Emerging with nothing but rage and a burner phone number for the swap doc. But rage builds things. In those gray prison mornings, I networked, literally. Inmates with Wall Street cousins, guards with startup dreams. By release, I had a shell company in the Caymans and a plan. Victor thought he'd won. He was sipping pina coladas in some Florida Keys bolt hole, married to a yoga instructor half his age. But I clawed back. Acquisitions, crypto flips, a biotech venture that exploded during the pandemic. Faith holdings, untraceable, untouchable. 9 figures by 45. And the swap? I kept the tech. Hacked the docs files. Reverse-engineered the neural rig. It's not magic electrodes, quantum entanglement bullshit, but it works. One night in a Faraday-caged van, and you're them. Their memories fuzzy at the edges. Your thoughts bleeding in like ink and water. Alex's slighted dinner? It was the spark. As we taxied back to the hotel, Lila apologizing in whispers. He's just stressed.
Mom.
It's the job, I plotted. Not destruction from afar. Immersion. I'd swap into Alex. Live his lies from the inside. Unravel the thread until his world spooled out. Controversial? Hell yes. Stealing a man's mind, even temporarily. That's God playing straight out of a Black Mirror episode. But in America, where billionaires buy elections and influencers sell souls, who hasn't crossed a line? The decision gnawed at me that night, staring at the Hudson from the 52nd floor. Was I saving Lila? Or just feeding the monster Victor made me? The next morning, I made the call. The doc, Dr. Elias, a disgraced neuro, was now slinging back-alley upgrades in Jersey, was game for a fee. Revenge swap, I pitched over encrypted line. In and out. 48 hours. His laugh was wet. Phlegmy. Ethics be damned. Faith. But remember, swaps leave echoes. You hear their ghosts. I wired the crypto, booked the van for that evening. Alex was none the wiser, prepping his pitch for Harlan while Lila dragged me shopping on Fifth Avenue. You deserve something nice. Mom, she said, fingering a silk scarf. If only she knew. The swap happened in a derelict warehouse off the turnpike, rain hammering the tin roof like Judgment Day. Elias prepped us separately, Alex lured by a fake executive wellness seminar, me slipping a sedative into his pre-meeting espresso at the hotel cafe. Waking up strapped to adjacent gurneys. His eyes wild above the mouthguard. Mine steady. What the foo, he started. But Elias hit the switch. Blue arcs danced. My vision tunneled. And then I was him. 6'2". Cologne sharp as ambition. Heart pounding with someone else's caffeine jitters. Alex's memories flooded in fragments. Boardroom triumphs. Lila's laugh in candlelight. A nagging doubt about the old lady's baggage. My thoughts anchored it. Faith's steel. Victor's betrayal. The numbers ticking in my head. Across the rig. My old body, Faith's, stirred. Alex's soul piloting it like a stolen car. Elias unstrapped us. Handed over the reversal code. 24 hours to settle. Don't fight the bleed. Stepping into Alex's loafers felt like slipping into a noose. His apartment in Chelsea was all minimalist chrome and motivational prints. Hustle or die. Lila was out running errands. Thank God. I rifled his laptop first. Emails to Harlan. CCNG, dirt on me. Positioning himself as the family fixer. Deeper. Text to a burner.
Coordinating with
Victor? My gut twisted. Phase 2. Discredit the hag. Seal the merger. Alex wasn't just ambitious, he was blood. Victor's son. The product of an affair during our marriage. Hidden until now. The secret I'd buried? It had a face. And it was wearing my daughter's ring. Rage boiled. But I played it cool. Dressed in a suit, tailored. Expensive. Ill-fitting on my vengeful soul, I headed to Harlan Ventures. The elevator ride up 40 floors was a blur of Alex's echoes. Boardroom nerves. A childhood memory of Victor's belt. In the glass tower. I was him, handshakes crisp. Jargon flowing. Harlan clapped my shoulder at the morning meeting. That dinner chat last night?
gold. Kid.
Shows grit. Family's the real test. Right? I nodded, forcing Alex's grin. Absolutely. Sir. Cut the dead weight. Build the future. By lunch, I'd access the internal drives, proxied through Alex's creds. Harlan Ventures was bleeding. Insider trades. Laundered Russian funds. The kind of dirt that makes headlines. Victor's fingerprints everywhere. Puppeteering from exile. Alex was the cutout. My daughter's fiancé, the fall guy in waiting. I leaked it anonymously, traced to a Cayman IP. My old shell. Whispers spread by 2. Compliance flags. HR alerts. Harlan's face paled during the afternoon huddle. What the hell is this? He barked. Glaring at me, Alex. I shrugged. Innocent. Beats me.
Sir.
But if it's family ties. Echoes of betrayal. My own and his. Lila called mid-afternoon. Voice bubbly. Babe. Dinner at Mom's tonight? She's been quiet. My old body, Alex in Faith's skin, was crashing at the hotel. Probably raging in a mirror. I texted back. Mimicking his emojis. Sounds good. Love you. The lie tasted like ash. As the office emptied, I dug deeper. Victor's plan wasn't just money. It was Lila. Marry in. Inherit Faith Holdings through her. Me exposed as the embezzler. Discredited. They'd swap me out again.
Permanent this time.
into some gutter nobody, while Victor's spawn took the throne. The decision hit like vertigo. Accelerate. Controversial as hell. Ruining a man who'd wormed into my bloodline, but necessary. I wired the full leak package to the SEC. Timed for midnight. Then, a call to Elias. Delay the reversal. Make it stick, I said. His pause was heavy. That's murder.
Faith.
Soul deep. But money talks. And America forgives the winners. Dusk fell as I left the tower. Rain slicking the streets. Lila met me at the Hamptons estate, our estate, her arms wrapping around Alex like he was salvation. Dinner was lobster thermidor. Candlelight dancing on her smile. Mom's thrilled about the wedding, she said. Oblivious. My old body arrived late. Slouched in the doorway. Alex's panic in Faith's eyes. Rough day, he muttered in my voice.
Horse.
Lila fussed. I watched. Dissecting him. The bleed was working. Flashes of my memories in his stare. Victor's schemes crumbling under the weight. We ate in strained silence. Forks scraping like accusations. Lila chattered about venues, Nantucket. Maybe, but the air thickened. Alex and me cornered me in the study after. Whiskey glass trembling. What the fuck did you do? Harlan's calling an audit. It's over. His words. My timbre. I leaned against the desk. Alex's height towering. Over? You mean just beginning? Victor's boy.
Huh.
Digging up graves to rob them blind. His face, my face, crumbled. You don't understand. He promised. The twist came at dessert. Lila bursting in. Phone in hand. SEC's raiding Harlan tomorrow. Alex. What did you... Her eyes darted between us. The unnatural stiffness. The mirrored panic. She'd known. Not all, but enough. Victor's letters. Hidden in her dorm drawer. Grooming her since college. Mom. I had to.
For us.
You're tainted. He said the swap could fix it. Make you whole again. Betrayal squared. Daughter turned conspirator. The room spun. Echoes overlapping. Victor's laugh. Alex's ambition. Lila's tears. I didn't swap back. Not then. The climax built in the foyer. Rain lashing windows like furies. Harlan called screaming, then begging. Fix this. Alex, your future's on the line. I hung up, turned to them, my body, my daughter, my undoing. The net worth? It's not numbers. It's this. I triggered the estate's lockdown, biometrics keyed to me. Echoes or not. Alarms wailed. Doors sealing. Alex lunged. My frail hands clawing. Lila screamed. Caught in the crossfire. We fought not with fists, but truths. You took the fall for him, for me, Lila sobbed. But Dad said you were broken. That the swap stole your soul. Lies upon lies. Victor's web. I revealed it all. The 9 figures. The holdings. The tech that could unmake them. Controversial choice. Mercy or annihilation. I chose the gray. Reversal code punched into Elias's remote. Partial. Enough to blur lines permanent. Alex back in his skin. But with my ghosts, embezzlement nightmares. Victor's belt. Lila. Untouched. But scarred with complicity. The raid hit at dawn. Harlan folded. Assets seized. Victor. Extradited from his Keys paradise. Swapped into a supermax shell. Poetic.
That.
Alex?
Disbarred.
Echoes driving him to ramble about stolen lives in psych wards. Lila stayed. Or tried visits tapering to calls. Then silence.
Me?
Faith again. Richer and isolation. The Empire hummed. Untouchable. Happy ending?
Depends.
I sleep with the lights on, hearing whispers that are mine. Revenge won. But at what cost? America's favorite question. Was it worth it? The aftermath clung like humidity after a summer storm. Thick and unrelenting. Weeks blurred into board meetings and bourbon nights. My reflection in the penthouse mirrors a stranger's, still faith, but etched with Alex's hollows. Lila's last text had been a plea. Mom, we can fix this. Therapy? A fresh start. I'd stared at it for hours, thumb hovering, before archiving it with the rest. Fresh starts are for the innocent. I was forged in fire, tempered by thefts that went beyond banks. Harlan Ventures imploded spectacularly, the kind of scandal that dominates CNBC crawls for a month. Insider trading ring exposed, CEO Harlan in custody. Pundits dissected it like a frog in bio class, Russian ties, offshore shells, the works. My leaks had been surgical, anonymous, but thorough. Victor's name surfaced early. A ghost from the 15 headlines. His Florida exile shattered by FBI choppers at sunrise. Noted financier Victor Lang returns to fold in dramatic twist, the Post screamed, with a mugshot that made him look like a deflated balloon animal. I watched it unfold from the Hamptons. Feet up on the veranda, a tablet balanced on my knee. The estate felt vast now. Echoes of that night rebounding off the beams. Lila's sobs. Alex's guttural curses in my voice. I'd let them go at dawn. The lockdown disengaging with a soft chime as the reversal kicked in. Alex stumbled out first, retching into the hydrangeas. His body his own, but his eyes mine, haunted, calculating. Lila followed, arms around him like he was the victim. I hate you, she'd whispered, not specifying who. The door clicked shut behind them, and I poured a scotch.
Neat.
Elias called that afternoon, voice crackling over the sat line. Echoes are permanent.
Faith.
You feel it. I did. Flashes at odd moments. The burn of Alex's ulcer during stress eats. The phantom itch of Lila's engagement ring on my finger. Worth it, I told him. He chuckled. That phlegm rattle again. Spoken like a true American. Building empires on borrowed souls. We didn't talk price. He'd already ghosted half the fee. A discount for the drama. If you need another swap, he added.
Call.
But next one's on you. Karma's a bitch.
Karma.
That's what the tabloids called it when Victor's trial hit the docket. Federal court in Lower Manhattan. The same halls where I'd pled out 15 years prior. I attended incognito, wide brim hat, oversized shades. The works like a bad spy novel. The gallery buzzed with reporters. The air stale with coffee and schadenfreude. Victor shuffled in, chains clinking softly, his face a roadmap of regrets and Botox fails. 62. Looking 80. The swap's toll catching up. No more trucker body. This was his original, weathered by Key's son and bad decisions. The prosecutor laid it out like a PowerPoint from hell. Decades of fraud. From the hedge fund he'd torched to the Harlan puppetry. Lang didn't just steal money, she intoned, her pantsuit sharp as her gaze. He stole lives. Embezzlement. Identity fraud, yes, including experimental neural transfers deemed illegal under the 2022 Neuroethics Act. Gasps rippled. The tech was still fringe. whispered in Davos circles.
But here it was.
Exhibit A. Redacted DARPA files. My coerced consent form forged in Victor's chicken scratch. He took the stand midweek, sweat beading under the lights. It was survival, he blustered, voice cracking like old leather. The feds cornered me. The swap, it was their idea.
A way to
Rehabilitate. Lies. Polished over years. I gripped the bench, nails digging wood, as he spun the yarn. Poor Victor, pressured into vanishing, emerging clean. No mention of me. The wife he'd sacrificed like a pawn. The jury ate it up, sympathy for the devil in a three-piece suit.
But the twist?
Alex. Called as a character witness. He shuffled to the stand in a rumpled blazer, eyes darting like cornered prey. The echoes had ravaged him. Therapy notes leaked in Discovery showed dissociative episodes, ramblings about another woman's thoughts in my head. He testified haltingly. My father, Victor, he mentored me, said family secrets build character. The prosecutor pounced. Secrets like framing your fiancé's mother for his crimes? Alex flushed, stammering. I didn't know the full story.
Faith.
She's not worthless. The courtroom hushed. Victor's glare could curdle milk. But Alex pressed on, my bleed fueling him. She built it all back. Net worth? Billions? Maybe. And the swap, I felt it. Her pain. It's why I pushed so hard. To prove. He trailed off, tears streaking. The judge banged for order. Reporters scribbled frenzy. Lila wasn't there. Too raw. She texted a mutual friend, but the damage stuck. Victor's defense crumbled. The jury deliberating 2 days before guilty on all counts. Life. No parole. As marshals let him out, our eyes met across the rail. Faith, he mouthed. A plea or a curse? I tipped my hat. Silent. Outside. Rain again. New York biblical. I ducked into a cab, bound for the airport. Private jet to Aspen, neutral ground, high altitude to clear the head. But the echoes followed. Victor's belt. Alex's doubts. Lila's betrayal whisper. Was this justice? Or just another layer of the con? America loves its comeuppances, Scorsese slow-mo. Blood money redeemed, but mine felt hollow. A vault full of fool's gold. Aspen was powder and pine. The kind of escape where tech bros pretend to unplug. I checked into the Little Nell, suite with a view of Ajax Mountain, and called my broker. Diversify, I said. Bio-neurosector.
Double down.
Faith Holdings was pivoting. Legit swaps. Therapeutic ones for trauma victims. Ethical. Or so I'd pitch it. Elias on retainer. Of course, clean labs. FDA whispers. Revenge repurposed. The ultimate American hustle. Lila reached out that night. Voicemail trembling. Mom. I saw the trial coverage. Alex. He's broken. Says he dreams your dreams. I didn't know about Dad's plan.
Not really.
Please. I played it twice. Thumb tracing delete. Forgiveness? Controversial as hell. She'd chosen blood over me. Echoed Victor's lies in her heart. But she was mine, flawed. Forged in the same fire. I texted back. Come to Aspen. We talk. She arrived 2 days later. Bundled in a parka too big. Eyes red-rimmed. We hiked first, no words. Just crunch under boots. breath fogging the chill. At the summit, maroon bells glittering below, she broke. I thought you were weak.
Mom.
After the scandal, Dad's letters. He made it sound like you'd lost yourself. The swap stole your fire. I nodded, wind whipping. It did. But I took it back. From him. From Alex. Her hand in mine. Cold but real. Net worth aside, what now?
What now?
The Empire chugged. But the ghosts didn't. Alex in a Bellevue ward. Therapy bills I anonymously paid. Harlan. Reduced to consulting gigs in Boca. Victor. Rotting in Otisville. Petitions denied. And me, CEO of Shadows. We descended in silence. Decisions branching like trails. I'd fund her MBA. No strings but watch. Always. Trust rebuilt on terms. Controversial as a prenup in church. Dinner that night. Fondue. Fire crackling. Stories swapped like cards. Not all truths, some echoes stay buried. But enough for a truce. Yet sleep evaded, echoes murmuring. Was the revenge mine? Or there's bleeding through? The final twist lingered, in Victor's effects. A letter unsealed at trial. To Alex, the swap was for her for faith. To free her from the body that trapped us. Madness? Or truth inverted? Had he done it for love? Twisted as barbed wire, it didn't absolve. But it debated, in the dark. Whiskey-warm nights. Spring thawed aspen into green haze. But the chill in my bones lingered. A reminder that some winters burrowed deep. Lila stayed a month. Our talks evolving from tear-streaked confessions to tentative blueprints, her role at Faith Holdings. Junior strategist. Earning her stripes. No handouts, she insisted. Chins set like mine at her age. I agreed. But with safeguards, NDAs, audits. The corporate armor I'd worn since Victor's ghosting. Trust her? Halfway. The other half watched for echoes. For the bleed that might turn daughter to dagger again. Alex faded to updates, discharged, couch surfing in Brooklyn, pitching ghost-written memoirs about corporate soul theft. Publishers nibbled, America devours its freaks, but he's spiraled. Echoes amplifying into paranoia. Faith's in my head. He'd rant to Lila over calls she relayed.
Guilt-laced.
I sent checks. And signed. For rent and shrinks. Mercy. Or manipulation. The line blurred. Controversial calculus. Save the villain. Or let him sink. Elias visited once. Choppering in for a consult. We hiked to Conundrum Hot Springs. Steam rising like secrets. Your pivot's smart, he said. Stripping to trunks. Scars from old lab, mishaps puckering his chest. Therapeutic swaps, PTSD vets. Accident fix. FDA sniffing. But money mutes. I nodded. Toes curling in scalding pools. And the echoes? He shrugged. Water lapping. Permanent fixtures. Like tattoos on the soul. Alex? He'll carry you forever. Question is, who carries him? The question haunted boardrooms back in New York. Faith Holdings boomed. Neurotech stock soared on IPO whispers. Analysts crowing the next Neuralink. With heart. I keynote at TEDx Midtown. Voice steady. Reclaiming what's stolen. Not just wealth. But self. Applause thundered. But backstage. Mirrors mocked. Crow's feet deepening. Alex's ulcer flaring. Victor's trial echoes too. His love letter dissected in therapy groups. Debated on podcasts. Was it redemption or delusion? Hosts pondered. My anonymous tips fueling the fire. Lila thrived, or seemed to. Late nights poring over filings, her laugh echoing halls once silent. But cracks showed, a paused engagement, Alex's ring boxed in her drawer. He's toxic now, she confided over takeout sushi, chopsticks stabbing salmon. The dreams he describes your prison time.
Mom.
Vivid. Like he was there. I swallowed wasabi burn.
He was.
In me. Her eyes widened, then softened. We could help him. Swap back the echoes. The proposal hung. Controversial fork. Heal the wound. Or cauterize. Elias could rig a purge. Experimental. Risky. Frying neural ghosts like malware. Price. A board seat. Equity slice. I greenlit it, but with eyes open. The session in a Jersey clinic. Monitors beeping like heart monitors in ERs. Alex strapped down. Voluntary this time. Lila's plea his lure. For us, she'd said. I watched via feed. Remote. Detached. Arcs danced. He arched. Screaming my name, Faith. Not his own. It worked. Mostly. Echoes dimmed. His ramblings quieted. Discharged. He vanished to California, finding himself in Big Sur retreats. Lila exhaled relief. But I saw the cost. Her fire dimmed too. Complicity's weight. Was it right, she asked.
Post-op.
Nursing coffee in the clinic lounge. Right? In America. Rights relative, profit margins. Poll numbers. Necessary, I said. But nights. I wondered, had I stolen his shot at redemption? Or given it? The climax crested that fall. Harvest moon over the Hudson. Victor died in Otisville. Heart attack. Official. Echoes of swaps too much for his ticker. His will surfaced. Contested. Everything to Alex. With a codicil for Lila. My true legacy. Blood money. Laundered through shells I'd long dismantled. Lawyers swarmed. Tabloids revived the saga. Embezzler's last laugh. Fortune to secret son. I could have crushed it. Litigation tsunami. Assets frozen. But the twist inverted. In Victor's effects. Another letter. This to me. Faith. The swap was an escape. It was atonement. Your body, too strong for the fall.
Mine. Weak.
I took the weak one. Left you the fighter. Build for her. Forgive if you can.
Delusion?
Or the truth I'd inverted. Betrayal a sacrifice? My chest tightened. Ulcer phantom painting. Controversial epiphany. Maybe we'd both been puppets. Strings tangled in love's ugly knot. Lila and I met his lawyer in a Soho cafe. Rain pattering awnings. He wanted you to have it, the suit said. Sliding docks. Pennies now, but symbolic. We split it. Half to charity, victim funds for swap survivors, half to Alex. Anonymous. For echoes, Lila murmured. He called her later. Voice steady. Tell her thanks. The dream stopped. But I see her now, Faith. Worth more than gold. Ending? No tidy bow. Lila married quietly. A park ceremony in Central Park. Alex not invited, but sending flowers. I walked her down. Arm linked. Our steps synced. Faith Holdings went public. Shares splitting like cells. I retired-ish. Consulting from the Hamptons. Elias my shadow partner. Ghosts? Faint now. Like radio static. Happy? Debatable. Wealth's a cold bedfellow. Revenge a bitter vintage. But free? Closer than before. America's like that. Dark alleys to penthouses. Betrayals to breakthroughs. You build. You break. You bleed through. And if the echoes whisper at dawn, you listen. They might just be the map home.